Test. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Let's close that. Let's turn this off. All right. Let's start over. Okay. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, it's working now. Thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed, or make a small donation, or perhaps subscribe to my Patreon. And of course, hit that like button too if you're watching and you need to go. Hit that like button before you go. Yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah. So, okay. So what I wanted to talk about is okay. So for the last 4 or 5 weeks, you've seen me go through the process, starting with just reading through it, and then going over my right hand, pinpointing some places that I needed to focus on in terms of my left hand, identifying hard parts. And then I started to go into the way I was hearing it, right? Okay, this sounds different from this, so I'm going to make sure I do something about that. Okay, I'm going to let this note ring out. It sounds like this is another voice. And I think today what I'm going to do is what I've noticed as I've sat down to work on this more recently. I feel like as if I'm in this sort of fine-tuning stage where, okay, I see everything, I understand everything. Some parts are clean, so I don't really have to worry about them, but then I know which parts that are giving me a hard time, so I'm focusing on that. But also, last week when I was talking about the different voices, I've mentioned this for about 2-3 weeks now. The different voices that sound like they're coming in, coming out. Third voice comes in, then drops out. And so what I was doing recently was I was trying to find a way to get the audience or the listener to hear the piece the way I'm hearing it. So you have so you have the first page here. So if you look at, let's see, the second staff line, I wrote down bring out. I don't know if that was there last week, but I wrote down bring out. And then on the fifth staff line, measure 7, measure 8, you'll notice I have pont underneath the third group of eighth notes for ponticello. So that is something that is essentially what I'm doing with those 3 notes is I'm bringing them out in the same way I'm bringing out what I mentioned earlier, the first, the last part of measure 4. But I'm bringing it out in a different way. I'm just playing ponticello, and that'll help separate the 3 notes at the end of that measure, which is measure 8. And you'll hear it. I'll play it for you. And then you look at measure 9, the next staff line. I have just a big bracket right there, right down the middle, and then I have separate. I at that point hadn't figured out how I was going to separate that, but to me, I'm hearing the last 3 notes of measure 9 as the beginning of measure 10, basically, as pickup notes to measure 10. So I'm thinking, okay, I gotta get the listener to hear that. How am I gonna do that? So right now, all I'm doing is I'm just utilizing a bit of rubato, and I'm slowing down there and gradually speeding back up to help create that sort of dip. And then, you know what? We'll leave it at that for now for the first page. So those are 3 examples of what I would say are more fine tuning. Making sure I'm getting into the nitty gritty of the piece, not just, okay, here are the notes. Let me just play the notes. that's level 1. So I'll play that for you so you can hear it. But I've noticed I've been doing that so much because I have on the next page more parts that I'd like to separate or bring out. And I feel like I'm getting a little bit too far into this sort of romantic style of playing. And I actually, going back to, I believe, the first stream of this, I mentioned in passing how sometimes people play a piece from the Baroque period as if it were a romantic piece. And I feel like I'm getting to that point, so I'm kind of eating my own words here. But it's just the way I hear it. So some people may hear my interpretation and just say to themselves, okay, this guy doesn't know what he's doing. He's not playing it the correct way, But I figured, it makes sense to me this way. It makes sense to me. So is it going to be more on the romantic side? I guess so. But I'm trying to not scale it back, but I'm trying not to make it too. I'm trying to be subtle about it. But I am still going to do these things, the separation with the ponticello, or simply I could use well, 3 ways you could separate volume off the top of my head: volume, tone, which is a ponticello that I mentioned in measure 8, rubato, or time, basically, or tempo. Right, you just well, you could just stop, right, and then start. That's a clear separation. But if you can't stop because it's just a constant set of notes like what we have here, then you just kind of pull back, let go of the gas a little bit. I like to tell my students, if you're driving your car, rubato's like you let go of the gas, so your car's still moving, but it is going to slow down a little bit, and then you just step on the gas. You don't, pedal to the metal, but you just gently put your foot back on the pedal, and then it gradually starts to speed up. So we're talking like, if you're going 55, you're doing like 3 miles per hour less or 4 miles per hour less. It's not going to be that noticeable, but it is noticeable subconsciously, I feel like. So anyways, that's enough talking. Let's go ahead and start. You'll notice it does sound smoother. It does sound more practiced. And I'm not really sure where that sort of point was. But it's cleaning itself up just because I'm spending more time. So not as much time as I would like, which seems to be a recurring theme. But it is what it is. Okay, so let me show you what I mean with those 3 examples. So I'm gonna go ahead and play from the beginning, and I'll try and play it, fairly clean, as if I'm performing it, although there will still be mistakes. Okay. I didn't write that in. Where's my pencil? Okay, no pencil, but on measure 3, I changed that fingering from 3-2-1 to 4-3-2. And the reason I did that is because if you remember from last live stream, okay, we are arpeggiating a minor chord here in measure 3 on the 3rd group of 8th notes, whereas in measure 1 and measure 2 it was always at the end of the measure. Okay, this was at the end of the measure. This was at the end of the measure. Measure 3 comes in earlier. So that sounds to me, you can see the bracket right there. There's like another voice coming in. I mentioned this already for those that have been watching. So I changed the fingering, and I made sure that when I played that F sharp, I let that note ring. Oops, I'll do it slow so you can hear. Okay, and I play those 4 notes da, 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 a little bit softer, so I dip down in volume, and then when I go into measure 4 and I play E, E, D, E, I play that at a different volume, subtly, so subconsciously it makes sense. So that's actually the first example, even earlier than the first example at the beginning of the video. So let's do that again. So you can see that. I also practiced in measure 4. Bum, bum, bum. I don't let that E ring over that G sharp. You notice there's a small little line with a star above that G sharp in measure 4, the 2nd G sharp. So I stop it with my ring finger like that. A, M, A, I, and then I stop right there. And then the last 3 notes of measure 4 I have right there bring out. So I actually play that louder, and it makes sense to play it louder because we are going up in pitch. So that would be like that would be another example of the voice coming in, taking over, or so coming in and then dropping out, and then another voice takes over. So let's start from measure 3. And then I take it easy on those last 3 notes of measure 5. And then we're into measure 6, right? The theme returns in a new key. So let's play that all one more time. Oops. Get a little tripped up on the fingers there. You notice at the end, you notice in measure 5, I start that phrase a little bit quieter. Whoops. And then I circle that rest, really, really important. That helps to separate the last 3 notes into my ear. Now we're into A major. Ponticello. I like that. I think that sounds really nice. Ponticello, back off a little bit because it's going to get louder. Higher when you're emphasizing the higher frequencies, you don't need to play very loud because they're going to just stick out. Just higher frequencies just kind of take precedence over everything else. Just something I learned when I was doing a little bit of, I guess, audio engineering, I guess is what you'd call it. I'm not an audio engineer in any way, shape, or form, but the little that I did do, you know, I remembered. Okay, so let's try that again. Back to measure 6. Hopefully you can hear how it separates the phrases going in from measure 8 to measure 9. Whether you like it or not, I don't know, but that makes sense to me. Just as a way to separate, because you don't want to keep doing the same trick every single time. You know, so just be gentle about that ponticello, and it should work pretty well. So back to measure 8. In measure 9, I have another point where I need to separate the phrases. I just utilize a bit of rubato. I slow down, speed up. So that's what I do on measure 9. So let's start on pick up to measure 9, which would be this. Let's do that again. Also, as a means to separate measure 9 from measure 10, the last 3 notes of measure 9 I hear as a pickup to measure 10. I make absolutely certain that there's no rubato once I get to the G and the A from the last note of measure 9 to the first note of measure 10. I definitely want to make sure those are connected. So, and then same thing there, a bit of rubato, let go of the gas. Hopefully you can hear that. And yeah, so let's see. Let's go back to, I'm going to go back to measure 6, see if I could pull this off in one go with the least amount of mistakes as possible. Pretty much the first page, so it's getting cleaner, it's getting smoother. I'm noticing I'm not always following my right hand fingering. I'm kind of going with whatever I can. I'm using whatever finger I can at the moment, and then I'm adjusting, and it seems to be working out okay. It's not what I suggest. I definitely suggest, and I tell all of my students, write the fingering down, practice it using that fingering, because otherwise you practice it one way, you practice it another way, and another way. You end up practicing 3 different ways as opposed to the same way 3 times. So it's just for lack of better words, it's kind of like a waste of time. Like you're not being efficient with your time. So there's the first page. Let's go ahead and run through it one more time, and then I'll just go right into the second page. Slid there at the end there. One thing I think I added this between last week and this week. You'll notice on measure 12, first note of measure 12, first note of measure 13, you got this line that just kind of goes over the measure. Let those notes ring, because it's like one voice is playing, finishes, another voice comes in, now it finishes, another voice comes in. So I like to hear those notes, those voices overlap as they're sort of, dancing around each other. I don't know. They're taking each other's spots. Let's see if you can hear that. Let's do pick up to measure 10. It was a bit too much rubato. Let's do that again. Oh, there it is again. There's in measure 11. I missed that one because it's going the opposite. It's on the bottom. But that G, measure 11, I let it ring. Let the F sharp ring. Let the E ring. Let's do that one more time. Pick up to measure 10. I am I. Still needs some work, but that's kind of what I'm going for. Okay, so I'm going to change to the next page, but I am going to start on the bottom of this page because that's kind of the way it's all laid out. There you go. All right, so let's talk about this. Let's see if there's any other moments, any other additional notes. Measure 17, there it is, another bracket right through the measure. Separate, those need to be separated. Although I'm still not sold on some of this. But for the moment, that's what I've decided to do. You'll see another one on measure 21, not a bracket, but a ponticello section. I'm still working on that one. That one still needs a bit of practice. And then a separation, the very next measure right there, beginning of measure 22. And I think everything else is the same as it's been. So let's take it from measure 14, measure before the second page. Let's see. Second page. Definitely want to stop that E. You can stop it with your with your right hand. With your ring finger. Okay, you can stop it with your left hand by just with your index finger there. And again, you're gonna let this D ring going into measure 17. Okay, and we talked about this last week. Same exact thing as the previous page, right? It's just a different key. So let's take it again from measure 14. Having a hard time separating that. I didn't practice it much, but let's see. Measure 17. Lots of rubato there. That's the one exception. I like a lot of rubato there, and I talked about that I think 2 weeks ago, because we're landing on F sharp minor with a F sharp in root position. So it sounds like we've definitely established the fact that we are in a new key. So it just lands heavy. It feels heavy. I guess what I could do at the end of measure 17, in the same manner that I did measure, what is that? Measure 4, where I said, okay, we're going up in pitch, so let me just play that louder. That's what I could do. So measure 17, I could do, let's see. I don't want to do it I don't want to do too much, but just a little bit to kind of bump it up a little bit and then back. Let's see. I gotta reach for that G sharp. And then bring it back down for the ba-da-dum. Right there is where a lot of people might have issue, because that is quite a bit of rubato, considering it's a Baroque piece. So I may have to back off on that a little bit. Wrong choice of words, because I usually use back off to do it to tell my students to play rubato. Not do it as much. Don't be so heavy-handed there, even though I did say it feels heavy. Right? So I guess I am contradicting myself in a way. It's just poor choice of words. Back to measure 17. Close. That was better. I've been working on this. I worked on this a lot this morning. But that was better. You could tell that I got louder. The change in tone is noticeable too, and it helps that I'm playing the next phrase on the 4-string, so it's going to have a different color regardless. So that's going to help separate it too. Let's go back to 17 again, I guess, and then no. Let's do measure 19. So what I've been practicing is the last 3 notes of measure 19 into measure 20. For whatever reason, I've been having a hard time with that. So basically, what I was doing is that over and over and over again. I wasn't really listening for anything other than making sure I'm playing the notes without any fret buzzes, not messing up any obvious, correcting all of the obvious mishaps. Not focusing on legato, not focusing on tone, not focusing on anything else. Just fingers for the left hand, fingers for the right hand. That shift is causing a bit of problems too. Yeah, a little fret buzz there. again on that shift. Probably the only way I can avoid it right now. Notice I'm putting my thumb on the 5th string because sometimes I'm hearing the A, the 5th string open when I lift this off. So my thumb covers for that right here. Oh wait, was that right? Yeah. That was right hand. So that obviously still needs a lot of work. Even though I spent a good chunk of time on it this morning. So let's go to measure 21. And this is where I play Ponticello. And I try and make that a bit more obvious. Maybe it's too obvious, but I had to change the fingers there and the strings. So it's there for you to look at, figure out if you'd like. So back to 21. I actually bar, I didn't write that in. I bar on the 3rd count, 3rd group of 16th, sorry, 3rd group of 8th notes on measure 21. And I lift up the 4th finger because I only want to hear the G. The G you got to hear when you play those notes. So, something like that. Should stop doing this. And then next phrase. There it is. So let's do that a couple of times. Do it slow. So I know for a fact these I have to play slow. I can't practice these and I can't just go through the motions. It'll never clean itself up. For whatever reason, these I have to have my complete, undivided attention. Let's do that a couple more times. Forgot to bar. Let's do that again. Bar. Bar 3 strings, by the way. And then on measure 23, I do not play M A M A. I don't do that. I go M I M and then A M I. So I may have to fix that at some point. I'm noticing that I'm doing that more often than M A M A M I. Mamami. I do M. What did I say? M I M. Mimami as opposed to mamami. Okay, 21. That's what I gotta work on. Is this. Landing this. And then the bar. Oops. Missed the thumb. Right hand. I like that part. Okay, 21 again. I should just do that. Sometimes, I don't know where these mistakes are coming from. Like, they're just easy stuff. Easy stuff. And for whatever reason, I just, screw it up. All right. It gets frustrating sometimes. That's all I'm saying. You know what I noticed? The bum bum bum. I have it circled in mid 24 when I do this, and then again in the second half of 24. But it actually happens in 23. So 3 times. So maybe I should bring that out too. I don't have my pencil. Shoot. I'll try and remember. But yeah, totally overlooked that. It doesn't sound like it's being used in the same way, but it does hint at those notes or that stepwise da 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 da. So 21 again. Don't slide. I tend to speed up here because it's so easy to play this. It's so easy to play that motif in this key. Uh, 21. Yeah, I still need to work on this. I was a bit too loud. Yeah, those 2 measures I just got to work on more. Let's just keep going. Come on, this is what I'm talking about. This is not that difficult. So why do I keep screwing it up? Um, 24. I leave that. I hold on to D here. And I let it ring on top of or over the F sharp and A. This is the last 3 notes of measure 25. Because I'm hearing those as a separate voice. I think I mentioned this the last time. Two voices there. 23. And I also I played that this da 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 dum da da dum. I play that with 4, 2, 4. I should change that because I want to hold on to that B on 25. Try that again. Oh, my dog wants to go outside. I don't know if you can hear him. All right, I'm almost done. Well, not almost done. 20 minutes, I think he'll be okay. Let's see, 25. Oops. 27. Crescendo there on 29, because we're arriving back to D major in full, like the whole next 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we're returning to D major, so crescendo leading up to that. Let's see. This is 27. That's all dirty. I'm totally mixing up my right hand. Let's do that again. All of that should be nice and smooth, like just very swaying. That's how I'm hearing it. Back to 27. I don't know why I keep doing this. This is actually the first time that I'm actually playing. This is the first time that this mistake has come across in any of my playing. Tonight, during this live stream. I've never done this. I've always done this. So. I do find this part, 33, 34, 35, I do find it easier to play this, measure 34 and 35, thumb, thumb, thumb. 35. But I'm just not sure I should. I feel like the thumb should be reserved for just the bass notes, you know? But it's easier to play. As opposed, and you don't run the risk of getting this here. Because it's just naturally not going to happen with the thumb. Let's do 27 again. Almost. I'm still working that part out, definitely. But it sounds really nice. I really like this. It's really grown on me. I mean, I liked it already to begin with, otherwise I wouldn't have learned it. But the way I understand it now, having sat down and really, having dove into it in the manner that I have, it's really, upgraded my appreciation for this piece, definitely. 33. See, when I do my fingers on the, they sound kind of buried. So I got to bring it out more, or just use my thumb, right? I could hear them more. So I think I'm really leaning towards using my thumb there. But as long as I back up just enough, I think it'll be okay. Let's do that again. 33. Oh, sorry. I gotta change pages. My mistake. There you go. Third page. 33. There's just more definition in the notes. And then here, nothing new that I need to talk about. Talked about all this crescendo. And I try and let all of those notes ring. I try and let all of those notes ring. Yeah, there isn't much in the way of new things that I need to mention. I feel like I've mentioned everything. You just got, a couple of returning phrases, and obvious things that you need to apply, like the crescendos, holding on to the notes. Let's go to 36. Let's see if anything comes to mind. Almost forgot it. I should work on that. Just clean it up. Right hand. actually do I am I on those three notes. No. M I M. I do M I M. I might change that. This is measure 40. End of measure 40. Let's go again from here. On that rise up to this weird spacing, voicing, ring on the first string, index on the fourth, thumb on the sixth. See if there's anything else that comes to mind. Not really. I mean, it's just technical things. I guess I could remind you of the notes that you need to hold on to, or the notes that I'm holding on to on measure 44. Is B, and then G, hold the B, hold the G, hold the A, hold the F sharp. Oh, I didn't write in the change of the change in I didn't write this change in. It's not third string, it's not open. I'm playing that G. Sometimes I can't speak English. I'm playing that G on the fourth string. Right there. So measure 45. I'm reaching. Because I want to keep hearing the F sharp. And if I let go of the bar, it goes away. Yeah, it goes away. That's just a technical thing. And the rest is you just kind of figure out the notes. I haven't been playing the ending. So the third page is obviously the least rehearsed. I mean, that's about it. We got 9 minutes. Let's see. Let me run through. I'm gonna start at the. I'm gonna start on measure 30, which is the measure right before the third page, and I'll run through the third page a couple of times, and then we'll just call it. Okay. So here we go. Okay. 35. I have a hard time. My third finger tends to touch the fourth string there. Very choppy. There we go. My pinky fell off the guitar. Sorry about that. I think I'm going to just run it one more time. All right, let's see. Fingers get so mixed up there. It's like a game of Twister. That last staff line. It's just really weird. Your fingers are just, they have to be so accurate there. Sorry about the slide. You're just all over the place. The fingers are constantly changing strings, it seems like. Either that or I'm just not catching on some kind of pattern. One more time. One more time. I think we're just going to leave it there because at this point I feel like I've talked about just everything I needed to. I've talked about theory, right hand, left hand, treble spots. I guess I could do dynamics a little bit. I talked about separation of the voices because even though it's just, you know, kind of just two voices, but the way in which I'm hearing it lends itself well to separate, you know, some of these things from each other. Holding down specific notes. I went over string crossings. Let's see. Yeah, I think at this point I need to sit down, get it nice and clean, and put all of this information into a single video. I don't know how long that's going to take, but it's going to have to start with me, you know, re-inputting all of this music into some music notation software so that when I create the video you can see the notation. And you know, my idea is they change colors. My thought is when I talk about things, the parts of music that sound like they're a separate voice, I'll have them change colors so that you can see what I'm talking about. And that's obviously going to take some time. So whether or not I'll do this next week, I'm not actually certain. But definitely for Thursday, I'll still do the Barrios. But also, that's around the same. It's kind of in the same boat. So, yeah. But I'll do a stream for Thursday on that piece, and then we'll see what I've decided to do. And I'll let you know, I guess, on Thursday. I'll have to sit on it for a bit. But I'm going to stop here. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, and if you'd like to make a small donation or perhaps subscribe to my Patreon, there's a link that'll take you to that in the description. All right. You guys take care. Have a wonderful night, and I'll see you all on Thursday.